I know I'm not alone when I say that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is one of the most nostalgic characters from my childhood. So every time we get a new figure of him, I'm there. At least for the 1/12 scale ones. Now somehow this figure, the Mafex Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man from No Way Home, became a bit controversial even before its release. It was delayed multiple times, but what Mafex figure hasn't been at this point? I saw a bunch of people on Reddit melting down that the figure looked terrible and that Mafex was cooked now. So are they right? Well, I don't think so at least. Starting with the packaging, the box is pretty normal for Mafex stuff. It's decked out in the No Way Home colors and designs. Lots of posing ideas on the back, along with an overview of what's inside, with Japanese text all around. Now let's look at the figure. So let's start with the big picture. I think Mafex did a great job with the overall look. He looks like he jumped through one of the Doctor Strange portals right into my hands. I know that some people really hate the shoulders, but they don't bother me too much. You can make them less prominent by pushing them in a bit more, but there are also many other people out there with instructions on their preferred way to mod the figure to make it more to your liking. Other than that, this is some pretty standard Mafex quality stuff, which is a good thing. Overall, the paint looks good to me. I know a lot of people were upset by how shiny he is, and he does have a slight bit of shine to him, but I think that was a bit overblown. It's definitely a little bit shinier than other figures I have, but it isn't distractingly so. The blue and red on this figure really pop, and it's a little bit deeper than on the SH Figuarts version. If it really bugs you, you can spray it with a bit of matte spray to dull it, which really cuts it down. There's a bunch of tutorials and stuff and examples of people doing it online, if you look for it. Now onto the sculpt. I love the sculpted web lines throughout the figure. They are nicely painted too. They have a bit of silver paint on them that really makes them pop. The spider symbols on the front and back look really good. The one on the back will look a little weird when you pose around, of course, but until we learn how to defeat the rules of physics in our little plastic mans, I think this will have to do. The SH Figuarts version has slightly more detail in the scales of the sculpt, and the Mafex one is slightly more smoothed out overall. Kind of a choose-your-own-adventure type thing there. Now let's look at what kind of head game this figure has. We've got two Tobey heads. One smiling one, and one where he caught you taking a paparazzi photo of him.
Away! I can't see! There are cars there, motherfucker!
And of course, the masked one. I think the unmasked likeness in this figure is slightly better than the SH Figuarts version, even if that one isn't terrible. He just kind of has one of those faces that's hard to get, you know? I like that his hair isn't messy here, but it's kind of a fun detail on the other figure. Now, there's a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth on the boards about the mask design being the poopy one from No Way Home instead of the one from the original Raimi trilogy. Since this figure is based on the No Way Home appearance, I think it makes sense for them to use it, but it is a bummer that it isn't quite right. Luckily, there are some customizers out there doing the Lord's work and selling fixed versions. But once we get past the disappointment of the version of the mask they used, I think they did a good job on this. The lenses look good and the paint on them is nice and clean. On to articulation, he's got a lot of the usual movement we've come to expect from a Spider-Man Mafex figure. He's got double elbows, butterfly joints in the shoulders, two ball joints up in the neck, joints in the mid-torso and lower torso, drop-down hips, double knees, a pin down in the ankle, and toe joints. Up in the wrists we have the usual peg to swap the hands out and a swivelable joint, so you can get both left and right and up and down in the wrists. I'll talk about the different hands and feet in a second. All of the joints feel great so far. All very smooth yet sturdy. Maybe the neck joint is slightly tight. I bet if I warmed that up that would solve that pretty quick. I kind of wish there was a thigh swivel in the upper thigh to get a little bit more range of motion in the legs. It doesn't ruin things, but it'd be nice. I haven't run into any problems getting him into all the usual Spider-Man poses, so it's a preference thing there. Here he is in a swinging pose, the classic Spider-Man crouch, and the legally required pointing meme thing. Speaking of preferences, I prefer the hip area on the Mafex to the SH Figuarts version, for sure. The weird butt plate things are annoying to mess with on the SH Figuarts. I think people who really don't like gappiness in their articulation may be annoyed here with the Mafex though. If you look at just the right angles, you can see how his hips are hollow. That's maybe the closest thing I have to a gripe with this figure. For hands, he has a pair of fists, web shooters, wall crawlers, web holding hands, loose holding hands, slightly different loose holding hands, He has single and double pointers, and magnetic hands and feet. The magnets seem strong enough to hold up the figure if you're using 3 or more limbs, which is a really cool effect. All the hands and feet are easy to swap on and off and are nice and stable. On top of that, we come with all the usual web effects. Nothing mind-blowing here. We've got the usual pair of short ropes, long blorps, and swing-em-ups. The web shots go over the wrists like this, and the swingers go in the hands like usual. They're pretty much the same as most other import Spider-Man that I've gotten. He has this holdable, unmasked mask, and the little science stick thing they used in the movie on Sandman. On top of that is my favorite part, which is the Doctor Strange portal. I love it a lot. It's flat on the bottom, so you can set it and make it your own multiverse happen. I wish it was slightly larger, but it looks good and is nice and solid. Painted great, great sculpt, the whole 9 yards. One cool thing I've noticed is mine will kind of spin if you lightly push it on a flat surface. It's a really, really cool addition to this already stacked package. And it comes with the usual Mafex stand. Now for comparisons. Here he is next to the SH Figuarts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the Mafex 185 Spider-Man, CT Toys Bootleg 185 Spider-Man, the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, Marvel Legends Scarlet Spider, the Mafex Captain America the Winter Soldier Stealth Suit Captain America, the Mafex Comic Captain America, Mafex Comic Daredevil, Mafex Hush Batman, Mafex John Wick Chapter 4 John Wick, the CT Toys Brown Suit Wolverine, the Marvel Legends No Way Home Green Goblin, the Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock, Marvel Legends Movie Venom, the Marvel Legends Deadpool and Wolverine Deadpool and Wolverine, Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper, the Star Wars Black Series Season 2 Cassian Andor, the Mafex The Mandalorian version of Luke Skywalker, Jazzwares Halo Infinite Master Chief, the 1000 Toys Halo Infinite Master Chief, Jada Toys Ryu, and the Jada Toys Chester Cheetah, and the Jakks Pacific Mario Movie Luigi. Overall, to wrap things up, I love this figure. I think it's the best version of Tobey Spider-Man we've gotten so far, and with some slight modifications, you can make it your ideal version of the character. The SH Figuarts figure is also good, so if you already have that one, you probably don't need to run out and upgrade to this, unless you really want both like I did. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you like this video, you might like my look at some CT Toys bootleg Mafex Spider-Man figures. We'll see you later.